300 bikers shut down a supermarket after manager forced a disabled veteran to crawl on floor to prove he's disabled and deserve free food. His name was Robert Chen, 73 years old. He lost both legs to a landmine in Vietnam in 1968. Robert had filled his cart with a week's worth of groceries, basic stuff like bread, milk, canned soup, $23 worth of food. When he got to the checkout, he realized he'd left his wallet at home. Simple mistake anyone could make. "I'm so sorry," Robert had told the cashier. "I live 2 miles away. Can I leave the card here and come back in 20 minutes? The cashier, a young girl named Amy, had said that would be fine, but then the manager appeared. Steven Walsh was a man who loved power. The kind of manager who screamed at employees and treated customers like criminals. "Absolutely not," Walsh said loudly. "How do I know you'll come back?" "Sir, I'm a regular customer," Robert explained. "I come here every week. I don't care if you come here every day." Walsh sneered. "No money, no food." Amy, the cashier, tried to help. "Mr. Walsh, I can pay for his groceries until he comes back." "You'll do no such thing," Walsh snapped. "That's theft enabling." Other customers started noticing the commotion. Several offered to pay for Robert's groceries. Walsh refused all of them. "This is about store policy, not charity." "Then what do you suggest?" Robert asked, exhausted and embarrassed. Walsh's next words would haunt him forever. "If you really need this food, prove it. Show me your disability is real." Robert stared in disbelief. "What?" "Get out of that wheelchair and walk to your car," Walsh demanded. "Prove you actually need it." "I don't have legs," Robert said quietly. "Then crawl," Walsh said with a cruel smile. "If you're desperate enough, you'll crawl." The entire checkout area went silent. 20 customers stood frozen in horror. "You can't be serious." Amy gasped. "I'm completely serious," Walsh replied. "Crawl to the door and I'll give you your groceries for free." Robert looked at this manager who thought humiliation was entertainment. Then he looked at his cart of food he desperately needed. He lowered himself out of his wheelchair onto the floor. "Don't do this," Amy begged. "Please, I'll pay for everything." But Robert had already started crawling, dragging his body across the dirty supermarket floor while Walsh watched with satisfaction. Robert made it 15 feet before a teenage boy named Marcus stepped in front of him. "Stop, sir. Please stop," Marcus said, tears running down his face. "My dad died in Iraq. You don't have to do this." Marcus pulled out $40. "Take this, please." Walsh grabbed Marcus's arm. "Put that money away or you're banned from this store." "Then ban me," Marcus shouted. "You're a monster. You're..." Two guards escorted Marcus out while the teenagers screamed about what they'd witnessed. Robert continued crawling. 20 FTs, 30 feet. Customers were crying, but nobody stopped it. Walsh was filming it on his phone, laughing. Robert made it to the entrance before he collapsed, sobbing. "I fought for this country. I lost my legs for this country. And now you've earned your groceries," Walsh said, still filming. "See, the system works." He had security drag Robert outside and dump him by the cart return area. They threw his prosthetic legs out after him like garbage. Tommy, a biker, had been in the store with his daughter. He'd filmed the whole thing on his phone and sent it to every biker he knew. "I swear we save Robert at any cost. If you believe bikers are the good people, click the like and subscribe button to show us your support." Jake, president of the Iron Brotherhood Motorcycle Club, watched the video and something broke inside him. Not from anger, but from pure disgust at humanity. How long ago? Jake called and asked Tommy. 40 minutes. Tommy said, Walsh is still in there bragging to employees about teaching the scammer a lesson. Jake made one phone call. Church emergency veteran down. Bring everyone. Within 20 minutes, 50 bikers arrived, then 100, then 200. By the time an hour passed, 300 motorcycles surrounded that mart. At the parking lot looked like a leather and chrome army. Jake helped Robert back into his wheelchair with the gentleness of a son caring for his father. "Sir, with your permission, we'd like to handle this." "Please don't hurt anyone," Robert said. "I don't want violence." "No violence," Jake promised. "Just justice." 300 bikers walked into the mart in formation. Customers scattered. Employees froze. Jake walked straight to the manager's office where Walsh was still laughing about the crawling veteran with his assistant managers. "Steven Walsh?" Jake asked calmly. Walsh looked up and went pale. We're closed. No, you're not, Jake replied. But you're about to be. Jake turned to the bikers. Nobody enters or leaves until we get answers. 200 bikers blocked every entrance and exit. 100 more filled the aisles, standing silently. Walsh tried to call the police. His phone didn't work. Someone had jammed the signal. What do you want? Walsh demanded, trying to sound brave. If you love reading biker stories, like and subscribe. An apology, Jake said. To the veteran, you forced to crawl like a dog. I don't apologize for enforcing store policy. Jake pulled out his phone and played the video Tommy had recorded. Walsh's face appeared on screen, laughing while a disabled veteran crawled. In 30 seconds, this goes to every news station in the state, Jake said. Unless you come outside and apologize. Walsh's face went white. You're blackmailing me. No, we're giving you a choice, Jake corrected. Apologize like a man or explain to millions of people why you humiliated a wounded veteran. Walsh had no options. 300 bikers weren't leaving. The video was already going viral on social media. Fine, Walsh spat. I'll apologize. Walsh stood before Robert with cameras everywhere. I apologize for any misunderstanding. Not good enough, Jake growled. Tell him what you did. Walsh's jaw clenched. I made you crawl to prove your disability was real, and I was wrong. Why did you do it? Robert asked quietly. Walsh had no answer. The truth was he'd done it because he could. Because he liked power over people who couldn't fight back. I want to know why, Robert pressed. I served this country for 3 years. I lost my legs protecting people like you. Why did you humiliate me? Walsh finally broke. Because I thought you were faking. We get scammers all the time. Did you ask to see my prosthetic legs? Robert asked. Did you look at my wheelchair, my veteran license plates? Walsh said nothing. You didn't care if I was real, Robert continued. You just enjoyed the power. Every camera caught Walsh's face. He knew his career was over. The bikers still weren't done. Jake turned to the cameras. This man humiliated a veteran who fought for our freedom. This mart hired him and trusted him to treat customers with dignity. Jake looked directly at the news cameras until Steven Walsh is fired and Mart issues a formal apology. 300 bikers will stand here, no customers in. No business done. You can't shut down our store, Walsh protested. Watch us, Jake replied. For 3 hours, the bikers held the line. The supermarket was completely shut down. No one could enter or leave except employees. Corporate called within 90 minutes. Walsh was fired immediately. The district manager arrived to apologize personally to Robert, but Robert had one more request. A cashier, Amy, tried to help me. Robert said she offered to pay for my groceries. Walsh stopped her. We'll recognize her service, the district manager promised. No, Robert said. Promote her, make her the new manager. The district manager hesitated. She's only 19 years old, and she has more compassion than any manager you've had, Robert replied. Age doesn't determine character. Amy was promoted on the spot. Her first act as manager was buying Robert's groceries herself and delivering them to his home. Steven Walsh tried to sue for wrongful termination. The video destroyed his case. He now works at a fast food restaurant and will never manage anything again. The teenage boy, Marcus, who tried to help, became an honorary member of the Iron Brotherhood. They paid for his college education. Robert Chen visits that mart every week. 300 bikers escorted him on his first trip back. Amy gave him a lifetime discount card, but Robert rarely uses it. Last Veterans Day, Robert rode in a Sidek car during the memorial parade. 300 bikers escorted him through town. People lined the streets crying and saluting. Not for the bikers, but for the veteran who had been forced to crawl and found an army to stand with him. Sometimes justice comes from unlikely places. Sometimes it arrives on 300 Harleys, and sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stand between cruelty and its victim and refuse to move. Steven Walsh learned that lesson too late. He made a veteran crawl for food and woke an army that shut down his store, ended his career, and reminded the world that you don't mess with those who have sacrificed everything. 300 bikers proved that day what many forget. Freedom isn't free, and those who paid the price deserve respect, not humiliation. Chen is 73 years old, disabled and stronger than any man who can walk, because he has something Steven Walsh will never have. A brotherhood willing to go to war for him. /